Hi, I'm Cody for Wall Street Breakdown. It's Tuesday, September 19th, 2017, and we're going to take a look at the market today with the market recap, of course. Now, like I said yesterday, we've tried to consolidate a bunch of our videos into one longer video, much more like a financial news broadcast would be. But if you prefer the shorter videos that are a lot more story specific, please leave us a comment, let us know. We will try to accommodate you the best way you want your financial news. Right? We want to give it to you the way that you want. So, if you haven't clicked the like, subscribe button, left a comment, thumbs up, do all that kind of good stuff, do all that stuff below, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bells. Honestly, you want to come back every day. We do this financial news every day. I'd like to think we break it down relatively well for you. Let's take a look at what's going on in the market today. For Tuesday, the Dow, 22,370, that's up 39.45. That brings us to a sixth consecutive all-time high for the Dow. The S&P 2506.65 up 2.78. The S&P's been up day over day too. We're rolling along. It's pretty merry out there, to be honest with you. If you're not in the market right now, I ask, what are you doing watching this video and not actually in the market? Because you got to know that we're rocking and rolling. The TSX 15,292.97. It closed that up 56.30. Even the TSX has been doing really well. Like, we've been dealing with, there was a bit of a loony drop off. We're going to get to that. The loony bounced back today because there's a little bit of, the Bank of Canada put out some feelers and let people know that what their big concern is that with inflation going up and the cost of things going up, you know, like, they're concerned that interest rates go up, inflation goes up, maybe people are a little overextended, which they kind of are. I think that set the loony back a little bit yesterday. We got a little bit of a bounce back today, but we're going to get into that. We're going to move over Michael Kors, up 3.4%. That's coming off an Oppenheimer upgrade. I believe the previous look was Oppenheimer was saying about 44 a share. They moved up this morning to 55 a share. This comes on the heels, obviously, of Michael Kors closing on Jimmy Choo shoes yesterday, with the Jimmy Choo board of directors voting unanimously to become a part of the Michael Kors brand, Jimmy Choo. Kors was closed today, I think, 46.18, so still well off Oppenheimer's $55 target price. Progressive's up 2.9%. I believe they closed the day at 47.63. It was something like that. Now, Progressive only lost, I stress this, a funny comment to make, only lost $254 million in August. They thought they were going to lose about 30 cents a share, when in reality Progressive only ends up losing about 2 cents a share, coming on the heels of two major hurricanes they had tons of exposure to as far as the actual Progressive Insurance Group goes. So Progressive got a good bump today, and Progressive never actually got smashed too bad when all the other insurance companies were really taking a hammer in the last couple of weeks. So Progressive closing at 43.63 is pretty good, considering Progressive is not, they weren't doing bad already, and up 2.9%. It's great to see that they weren't overexposed. That just means that somebody else in the pile probably was. We're not looking at a whole bunch of uninsured cars and homes and stuff like that. Envision Healthcare down 9.6%. Now, yesterday after the close, Envision mentioned that they were going to do a $250 million share repurchase program. They also mentioned there was going to be some serious management turnover. CFO, bunch of guys, bunch of people coming out, bunch of new people coming in. Envision closed down today, I believe it was around 43, just over 43, 43.10, 43.11, something like that. The market didn't like it. The market didn't like all the changeover. They're not really, the share repurchase, $250 million is really a drop in the bucket for a lot of companies, even though, I mean, you're definitely showing that you've got a little bit of money and you're trying to show belief in your business by bringing more of it back in-house and having it less out there, or at least that's what you're trying to purport to have us believe. But they don't like the management shakeup, and I don't think I do either. I mean, when you have people in, what do you got, 10 managers, 15 managers in different departments, probably with a company like Envision, like really high up guys, like, and you're moving key guys out of this spot and moving key guys out of this spot, and it creates just so much, there's so much fluidity built when good companies with good management teams deal with each other. You're obviously going to get that kind of structure. You're going to know what such and such is going to do, and you're going to probably work a lot more in unison for what is ultimately the company goal, because you get bonuses on how good the company does. When you change up a lot of guys, everybody wants to come in and be the boss. not everybody can be the boss, you know, like you'll be the boss of your department, but you know, like there becomes this power struggle and a reshuffling of the deck almost, and reshuffling at the level that Envision's doing it with multiple high up officials. It's far too much for me. It was far too much for the market. There it is. If it's not far too much for you, please consult a licensed professional financial advisor. This isn't the financial news advice you're looking for. This is just financial news and a little bit of Cody's opinion. You definitely want to consult with the most professionals of professionals that you're comfortable with, that know your portfolio, the proper allocation for what you're trying to do, your risk tolerance, all that stuff. I mean, the due diligence is very important. Please do your due diligence. Best Buy was down 8%. You ask why? Well, see, Best Buy and Procter & Gamble, they both had kind of investor relation days. They came out, they talked, they told a little bit about the company. While Procter & Gamble's wasn't too bad, and we'll get to that, Best Buy, there was some real guidance changes. Best Buy's forecast for the future at their investor day wasn't very good. It didn't impress at all. It pulled back quite a bit, I think, from a lot of people. We're expecting, actually, Best Buy had a pretty good quarter last quarter. I mean, we got much better earnings than I expected to get out of them, but it seems like the long-term forecast still tells us that Best Buy probably isn't going to be as strong with the Amazons of the world around. Pardon me. So Best Buy wasn't received very well at the investor day. I believe they closed 52.76, but people weren't overly happy. Acuity brands on the negative list again. I just put that up there because, again, there's no news. This is twice in 2 weeks. Acuity brands, big lighting company. They do lighting and all the lighting controls and stuff like that. 6.1, they're down again at Acuity brands. They're down to 157.66. It's on no news. I don't really know what to make, hide nor hair of it. I guess maybe there's other major contractors out there. It's not really making the news, but major lighting contractors pulling in contracts that were not really being reported, that we're seeing maybe Acuity brands losing on the bidding floor, but we're not really seeing any news breaking of any publicly traded companies getting any type of large contracts. So while Acuity's getting smashed, I'm not entirely sure what the catalyst happens to be. It just kind of goes to show, again, what we've talked about before, is that the market is a little bit bipolar, I mean, honestly. Fiat and Dodge. Dodge, Chrysler, it is Fiat. There was quite a big recall, 494,000 Dodge Rams, 2,500 and 3,500 series from 2013 to 2017. Most of these vehicles are going to be in the United States, and they're all going to have a diesel 6.7 liter engine. There's apparently a dangerous water pump in them. They use the word dangerous, which makes me think that this water pump is probably trying to kill you. So I would look out if you're driving one of these Dodges, because you probably have a psychopathic water pump somewhere in your engine bay that, at any point in time, it might be over. So keep on a lookout. Fiat and Dodge with a pretty big recall for psychopathic water pumps. Procter & Gamble had another investor day like we were talking about with Best Buy, except Procter & Gamble gave really good forecasts. Their forecast said that a lot of the turnaround the company's trying to do is actually happening quicker than they assumed it was going to happen. That's about the best that they really gave us. It was a lot of schmoz, but still, we like to hear that they think things are going a lot better than they assumed. We'd like to hope that if it was going bad, they'd come out and say it. A lot of companies actually do. I'm not saying Procter & Gamble would circumvent that news if it was there, but they're coming out saying that things are turning around the way they want them to turn around. We take a look at chain store sales, Redbook chain store sales. They were up. They're up 3.6% year over year for the week. That's in comparison to last week's 4.5%, still up. And the month-to-date sales for chain stores in the United States for September is supposed to be up 4.1%. So, I mean, that's doing excellent. Retail is doing great. I mean, we've seen retail doing really well. Yeah, it surprises me when we see a couple of the retailers that it seems like should be sharing in some of this retail windfall, not really sharing in it whatsoever. And I think it really goes to show where we have all these sectors that just too many of them get swallowed up by companies like Amazon, and there's just not a whole lot we can do about that. We're going to get to that in the earnings at the very end of this. Airbus in China. Airbus does not have a lot of airplanes in China. Airbus has, I believe it's like 5. It's next to nothing. China said they could need between 60 and 100 A380 jets from Airbus over the next 5 to 7 years. Now, that's a deal that could be worth billions of dollars for Airbus, and that could be a major shakeup as far as competition between Airbus and Boeing worldwide goes. I mean, it's not like Bombardier is in the mix there, but those two companies, I mean, they fight neck and neck for market share. You get 60 to 100 sold to China. You get in on that Chinese, you get clicked up with China. You might find yourself doing even better than a company like Airbus is already doing consistently. Best Buy disappoints again. We talked about this at the Investor Day. I got this down there twice because I like being disappointed twice. I'm imagining you do too, so why not put it down twice, right? Best Buy just didn't impress at their Investor Day. A whole lot of forecasts were changed up, and they were changed up for the worst, and nobody likes to see that. It's Snapchat's outgrowing Instagram, but that title's a little misleading. Snapchat's outgrowing Instagram in the US at only 52 to 48% as of right now, but Instagram is focusing a lot on international growth. So while Snapchat is very, very domesticated in the United States and Canada, Instagram is still growing internationally by leaps and bounds, but Snapchat is growing a little bit more domestically than Instagram is. We take a look in Canada for a second. The loonie closed at 81 cents, 81.47 to US dollar. That's pretty good. I mean, we had a bounce back. We were down yesterday. Again, we talked about it at the top of this video. The Bank of Canada said, with interest rates and inflation both going up at the same time, they were concerned the Canadians might be a little over leveraged. The dollar took a bit of a hit on Forex trading markets, but the dollar is back. The bounce back up. We're seeing the dollar be really strong in a Canadian market that's really strong. I mean, the TSX is up. It's up consistently all the time. I mean, we're seeing a pretty good resurgence up here in Canada. I haven't been able to pinpoint the industries yet that I'm supposed to really sink my teeth into other than the financials, but here's hoping that some of these companies with this next earnings season really creeping up on us now, as you can see down here, some of these companies really come out of the woodwork, and we get to see what some of these companies have in store to bring Canada really full circle, hopefully by the end of 2017, and send us into 2018 roaring like this on a regular basis. I mean, we're a well-run country. Save for a couple of politicians, we should be doing a lot better on the international scene. Toys R Us. We've covered this. I've got a video that's doing quite well about this from a couple of weeks ago that we actually shot when this news first broke. It's over. I'm wearing my Punisher shirt. Somebody's got this is my closest thing to death I had. It's over. They're bankrupt. I don't know where I'm going to get toys other than Walmart and Amazon, eBay, and everywhere else, but I walk in here all the time. That's sad. They filed for bankruptcy protection in the United States and Canada. This is a company that goes back a long time. That's got people have a lot of sentimental memories from Toys R Us. I'm sure my American brethren share a lot of the same feelings that I do, that while Toys R Us on a retail level is not a viable option anymore, and I think we all understand that. As an investor, I've moved on. I've moved on long ago. Toys R Us bankruptcy still comes as it hurts me personally. I don't want to see Toys R Us close. So they filed for bankruptcy protection. They've got a little bit of financing that's going to ensure that their suppliers through the fourth quarter aren't going to get shortchanged on the stuff that they've already got shipped out or allocated to be shipped out to Toys R Us, especially for the holiday season. But you can imagine Hasbro and Mattel. There is going to be a bit of a landslide in the toy industry and a reshuffling of the way toys are sold if this really goes through and Toys R Us is completely off the board. Right now, we're not 100% sure if that's the case. I mean, things could change quickly, but as of right now, I would imagine they've exhausted every avenue to come right out and file bankruptcy. So Toshiba backs Western Digital. We were hearing last week that this consortium there were a ton of companies involved in this consortium, right? Apple and a few other people. They're backed by Bain Capital. This consortium here was apparently in the lead to buy Toshiba's chip unit. And Western Digital was putting up a big huff about it because they said, "Hey, we had this deal first. We feel like we've been kind of taken out to lunch. We've got this consortium that was ready to go." And they today put out a new bid, a stronger bid, and also said that they're not going to take this the technology and break it up and split it out to everybody and their dog. They're still going to keep this in-house. This is going to keep it somewhat proprietary. And for some reason, Toshiba really, I think, wants that. That seems to really be something that they're really hitching their wagon to. They want, I guess, to be known for what they did, even with it being out there. They don't want it just all the information to be spread about. And that was Bain Capital's idea. That's the reason everybody wanted in on it. That's the reason that consortium was so large. Excuse me, I've got chapped lips. That's the reason that consortium was so large, was because everybody wanted to be in on it to get a piece of this Toshiba chip unit. I guess Western Digital is going to keep it more in-house. So Toshiba, the board of directors, have a meeting on Wednesday. But with this new bid on the table, I can imagine Wednesday's not going to solve anything. I'm imagining Bain Capital and their buddies are going to come back with a little bit of an offer of their own. And Toshiba's being wooed, and everybody likes to be wooed, right? So that's what you've got going on there. A story that it probably isn't quick to end, but did take a complete 180 there from the Bain Capital stuff we were hearing last week to the Western Digital stuff we're hearing again now. Foot Locker is down 52% on the year. That's pretty much the main thing I'm mentioning here about Foot Locker is they're just not doing well. And we've been having downgrades of Nike, downgrades of Under Armour, while we had Adidas. Marvelous Adidas. They were up. Adidas got upgraded today. I seen an upgrade for Adidas. A little late to the party. I've been hyping Adidas for a while. Adidas, they're doing great stuff. I got a pair of Adidas shorts. I love them. They're awesome. Yeah, but Foot Locker, hammered. Nike and Under Armour doing it no help whatsoever. Foot Locker is, they could be a death's door here pretty quick. We might be able to move that bankrupt thing to Foot Locker anytime soon. We've got Sprint and T-Mobile potentially merging. Rumors. You know what I think about rumors. Let's not get the rumor mill started, but this is out there today. That's two of the big four telecom companies in all the United States. Where would this put Verizon? I mean, you know, AT&T's got this Time Warner deal on it's ready to go. It just needs a Department of Justice and a Brazilian regulator green light. And $85 billion later, Time Warner's a part of AT&T. If T-Mobile and Sprint get together, I'm telling you, they now take a part of telecom that even I don't think AT&T is going to be able to touch. With the two of them together, that really puts Verizon sitting out there alone by themselves. That's if this move happens, this has got to make Verizon and all Verizon investors and everybody that's invested in this, everybody that's invested in almost anything but AT&T, just because AT&T has so many irons in the fire already, and they look like they're going to dot so many I's and cross so many T's in the next 18 months or whatever, where I think we're going to see AT&T really pull away in a lot of media markets. I think if you're in that, it's probably something where you're not batting your eyes more than it's interesting news. But if you're in Sprint or T-Mobile, or if you're in Verizon, I would imagine this news probably gets you right where it counts. Tesla, Jeffries picked up doing analytics or analysts on Tesla today, and Jeffries says they don't think Tesla is really worth the money that they're worth. They like the ideas that Tesla has, but they really don't feel like Tesla is going to be able to follow through on what the price point is. They say the ideas are great, but you got to show us a lot more proof. Now, that's definitely my biggest deal with Tesla. I do love Tesla and Elon Musk. I think they do fantastic work. I definitely do feel like that, though. I feel like there needs to be a lot more proof in the pudding. While you say production's ramping up and a bunch of different things, reviews on a car are very good, that's all well and good. But we've got this production facility building the solar panels in Buffalo. That opened up recently, but again, opened up with no more than a trickle of production, saying it's going to ramp up exponentially as things go on, as time goes on. I mean, yeah, that's great to say, but I understand where Jeffries is coming from. Jeffries puts them at a $280 share price. That's about 28% down from where they are right now. They're well into the 300s. I don't know. To be honest with you, this comes down to one of those companies where I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I would love to have one. I have a few questions I've got for it, but this Tesla one, it's not something that's... It's not going to be easy for you to dissect this, because we really can't tell how things are going to play out, especially in the future. If you like it, you like it. If you believe in it, you believe in it. And if you're a contrarian, you're probably going to stay on the fence about it. And I mean, I've been on the fence about it the whole way up. I'll tell you that right now, just complete disclosure. I've never been in Tesla, never once. Tesla is what it is. It's always kind of worried me because I couldn't see the end game in it that people could see the vision in, and I think people are still investing in the vision as much as they're investing in the end game. And I've got too much .com bubble PTSD. I can't handle too much vision. I need to see actual numbers. So I've always been on the fence about it. A lot of people don't feel the same way. Jeffries, They do. Ford cuts U.S. production. Ford's also cutting some production in Mexico. 5 plants are going to get some production cuts. 1 to 3 weeks, they're going to get some idle time. Now, all of these plants are plants that deal in commuter cars, a lot of four-door. Ford's not doing really well in their passenger vehicles. SUVs and pickup trucks are dominating. When economies are good, people buy bigger vehicles. There's more money to go around. They can afford higher payments. People want nicer things. They get bigger vehicles. Trucks, SUVs are doing fantastic for Ford, for a bunch of companies. But the actual commuter passenger vehicles not doing very well. So Ford's gonna ramp down production just a little bit. We've seen this a bunch of times before, and it's just a matter of, you don't want to get too much inventory, so I understand kind of what they're doing. How that's going to affect all those workers is kind of miserable. That's a lot of people, especially with this news coming right before Christmas. That's a lot of people are going to be missing some work they probably don't want to otherwise be missing, but Ford has to do what they have to do for their shareholders. That's definitely understandable. We got earnings today because earnings season is just about to kick off. The earnings we'll start with is Bed Bath & Beyond. They came in at 67 cents. It was supposed to be 95. Bed Bath & Beyond is not doing well in after hours. They're down 15%. The EPS... their expectation for their EPS for the year was supposed to be $4. They knocked it down to $3 today with their earnings call. Bed Bath & Beyond is getting smashed. I mean, you're down 15% in the after hours. I do not want to be in Bed Bath & Beyond tomorrow when the market opens. That is going to be a horror show. It's going to be more like Bloodbath and Beyond. It's not going to be where you want to be with your money. I don't want to be there with mine. Adobe had earnings today, and Adobe had excellent earnings actually. $1.10 beat the street by 9 cents, and $1.84 billion beat by 20 million. That's up 26% in revenue year over year. Adobe said their cloud revenue is up 26%. Their subscriptions revenue up 34%. Adobe has tons of great software out there that costs quite a bit of money to get month-to-month or yearly subscription plans for, but literally the leading end of a lot of software that people use at the highest ends of software use. Adobe makes great products. Adobe had ridiculously good earnings, and I think a lot of these subscriptions and software stuff just go to show, again, there's a little more money. People are willing to branch out with their hobbies potentially a little more, invest a little bit more money, a little further into doing things that they enjoy, but spending more of a top-end dollar, because definitely when you see the subscriptions up 34% on a lot of Adobe programs, I don't believe that Adobe probably has 34% new people just leaving school or just finding employment in that field. I think what you have is a lot of hobbyists that probably have a little extra money and they like to invest in their hobby. And some of Adobe's programs, I know I've had some of Adobe's programs paying $80, $100 a month to have programs, just because at the time that I had them, I thought they were needed and they were interesting, and I had the money to get the top of the line stuff, so why wouldn't I have, right? So there you go. The Dow is up for the, 6th straight day. The S&P's up. The TSX is up. We've got a lot of companies doing really well. There's not really any bad news here other than the Toys R Us bankruptcy. We're kind of shocked by Toshiba changing over to Western Digital, and Airbus in China could be big news. I mean, honestly, you could sell 60 to 80 new jets to China when you only have 5 in there currently. That could be worth tens of billions of dollars over the next 7 years. Adobe with great earnings. Bed Bath & Beyond going to be a bloodbath in the morning. I'm Cody with Wall Street Breakdown. You tell me if you prefer this big, long diatribe compared to a whole bunch of little stories. I'd like to think that I keep you somewhat interested while we stay here and talk about all this kind of stuff. Please speak to a licensed professional financial advisor before doing any type of investing. Do your due diligence, do reading, take on all the different kind of resources, including my channel, that you possibly can, just to immerse yourself in the knowledge so that you know what's going on, because you work hard for your money and you deserve to keep it. And if you're out here trying to invest, you deserve to make a lot more of it. Click the subscribe button and the notifications bell. I'm Cody, Wall Street Breakdown, and I'll be back tomorrow.